effective this week after it's approved by the House. We talked to the White House press secretary about how soon Americans could get that money and more. The relief bill extends the existing $300 weekly unemployment benefit through September 6th and offers a tax break.
People won't have to pay taxes on the first just over $10,000 of their unemployment insurance benefits.
And the bill's $1,400 stimulus checks will be the largest yet for most Americans. How soon do you expect that this third round of stimulus checks will be sent out?
Our plan and our hope is that much of the direct relief will be out the door before the end of the month.
So everybody, good news for retirees and the senior citizens. Big changes are coming to Social Security and Medicare. Congress has actually confirmed that many people can expect to receive some extra money, and towards the end of the year and towards the holiday season, you'll be getting stimulus money left and right. For instance, Joe Manchin is now meeting with Republican lawmakers to try to reach an agreement on this. High inflation has rocked the U.S. economy this year. It drove a large part by events that happened during the crisis. Now, low interest rates, stimulus checks, supply chain disruptions, and many more political conflicts have all conspired to send prices soaring. But one thing is for certain, according to Goldman Sachs, while many Americans have been adversely affected by this, high inflation has been challenging for retired workers, most of whom live on less than half of their pre-retirement income. Fortunately, I'm talking about some huge changes that are going to Medicare, and Social Security. So here's the important news that I want you to know. Each year, a cost of living adjustment is applied to Social Security benefits to offset the impact, everybody, of the rising prices. And since inflation is lingering near a 4-decade high, beneficiaries will receive an unusually large 8.7% COLA next year. It ranks as the largest increase in benefits in more than 4 decades. According to the SSA, the average monthly benefit paid to you next year will be $2,000. That's $200 more a month. This extra cash can provide you with some additional financial security, especially as inflation is just getting out of hand. Now, the standard Medicare Part B premium also soared 14.5% to $170 more per month. Then Medicare annual Part B deductible climbed 14.8% again to $233. So who knows, everybody? You could be getting your stimulus money very, very fast. But we hope that President Biden could do something about this, because these price hikes outpace the 5.9% COLA this year, meaning benefits have lost their buying power due to the rising cost of Medicare. Fortunately, the standard Part B premium will drop 3% to the $164 a month in 2023, and the deductible will fall again to 3% to $226 per year. It means that most retired workers will save about $70 on Medicare next year. Although that isn't a lot, it's still something. But the combination of a historic COLA and lower premiums have been a one-time life event. And the Internal Revenue Service, the IRS, issued inflation relief checks for next year, and they apply to pretty much everybody who filed taxes. For instance, the standard deduction will increase by about 7% next year, and individuals will be allowed to deduct $13,000, which is up from $900. Married couples can also file jointly and deduct $27,000. Now, a handful of Republican lawmakers appear to be talking with Manchin on his push to permit reform despite tensions between him and other Manchin senators. Manchin had been pushing for policies that speed up the approval process for energy projects in order to build up more energy infrastructure. His last attempt ran into opposition from both Republicans, who said it didn't go far, and progressives who said it could harm communities. In recent weeks, Manchin has been engaged with talks with Republicans in hopes of finding a lame duck session. Republicans have told the Hill that they're getting permitting reform done, and it's really important. He said it's a slow but steady progress being made, and that he hoped to close what he described as loopholes on time limits in the energy project approval process that he said were part of his proposal. Another Republican has expressed support for Manchin's proposal, given its inclusion of helping the national gas pipeline running through their home state. Similarly, noted that the important politics that Republicans are playing. Republicans in both chambers have actually focused their whole week on the party's midterms, and now the negotiating surround.
How, you might ask? This law lifts Big Pharma's chokehold by capping annual Medicare drug costs at $2,000 and insulin at $35 a month. That is such a big deal. That means 3.6 million Floridians with Medicare Part D will soon pay less for medications, making life easier for 100,000 seniors who count on Medicare in my district alone.
We have a ton of news about the fourth stimulus payments, fourth stimulus check, Social Security benefits, SSI and SSDI. We have a ton of news to cover, so continue watching the video. Important news, you still have time to apply for the latest round of checks, and these checks are worth up to $300. Lawmakers have already proposed a plan that would just help so many Americans with the rising cost of gas. They are aiming to provide more financial help to the low income, and during this holiday season, you'll get the stimulus. For instance, a governor told the press that a $300 utility stimulus credit is applied to residents and living in residential electric accounts for November and December. These checks are just aimed to provide more stimulus aid to residents, at least, as they continue to face the COLAs, the rising cost of living that's going up insane. The governor already said in an official statement that, through coordination with the Department of Finance, we'll be giving a $300 stimulus credit for the months of December and November. So you'll be getting stimulus checks next month and this month as well. So be sure to claim it, folks, because as we enter the holiday season, I hope that utility credits will help you and your families gain a sense of relief to focus on what matters most. So, as some Thanksgiving spread, high inflation is already hitting the holiday spread. Food prices rose again 11%, and over the 12 months ending in October, grocery prices have increased dramatically. That's because of labor shortage, higher fuel costs, and wages, everybody. And don't forget about supply chains, some of the biggest price pressures that we've ever faced. For instance, folks, food prices already began last year as a rush of activity unleashed by stimulus drastically boosted demand. Higher fuel prices made it just more expensive to process and transport food, all while historically strong labor market just made it harder for businesses to retain workers and keep up steady demand. Delaware residents just have over a week to submit their bill applications, that is, for the latest round of checks, everybody. The state has issued around 782,000 rebates for each direct payment of $300 for each adult Delaware resident so far. And while thousands of more residents qualify for this check, the governor said, and the state government also added, that they were projected to return $230 million to taxpayers at a time. Residents have until November 30th to file for this credit. After that, no more applications will be approved. And so you have to be sure you're eligible for this check and get it quickly, because Joe Biden is now calling on Congress to suspend the federal gas tax. While experts say suspension could provide some immediate relief, it can also keep demand very high and elevated. Folks, this means that there's going to be tight supply. For instance, the president has repeatedly taken aim at oil and gas companies for what he claims are policies that prioritize profits at the expense of consumers. Jason Furman, a professor at the Economic Policy of Harvard and the former chair of the Council Advisors under Obama, said a suspension would have little impact on consumers, everybody. And now, this will lead to billions of dollars more for oil companies. For instance, Mark Kelly, a senator from New Hampshire, said that much of this relief should go to people in the states. The bill would also require the Treasury Department to monitor whether oil and gas companies are just passing along the savings to consumers, and encourages the Department of Secretary to take action to ensure what they do is right. And I agree. Stimulus payments should be sent out faster and right now.
Ms. Harold is now recognized.